Put your phones away and pay attention, or you could end up at someone's dinner.
Wait, are you fighting me?
Sorry, am I doing this wrong? Hey, you know, I really dug your speech in class this morning. Come on, we gotta get out of here! And that's when it happened. Dude, what's wrong with your face?
At the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to Jake Stevens, a lazy teenager obsessed with girls and smoking weed. Jake lies in bed, dreaming of getting intimate with his crush and most popular girl in school, Amanda Blake, but is interrupted by his disappointed dad, who comes in to tell him that he has just failed the career test he took. At school, Jake and his friends hang around talking about Amanda and get a talking to by Amanda's ex-boyfriend 𝐀𝐿, who still has feelings for her.
Hey!
Then, Jake enters class and the teacher shows them an educational video about the dangers of unprotected sex. After watching the video, Jake goes to lunch with his friends and freaks out on them about his fear of contracting a sexually transmitted disease from a girl he went out with a few days earlier. As the group discusses this, they see Amanda talking to her friend at the next table. Then all of a sudden, Amanda attacks her friend and starts eating her, shocking everyone. Then out of nowhere, Jake turns into a supernatural being and joins Amanda. Cass and her partner Tom from the Necrotic Control Department, NCD, show up to investigate the scene. Cass uses her psychic powers to find out exactly what happened in the school cafeteria. Then, she finds Amanda's friend's phone and uses it to make a connection and find out what happened. She figures out that there were two necrotics and presumes that they probably left together. Tom follows her lead, and just as they proceed to leave, Cass finds Jake's vaporizer and makes a connection that surprises her. In the connection, she feels that even though Jake is a necrotic, he is a nice, goofy guy she could have been friends with. Cass and Tom leave the school to follow Jake and Amanda based on Cass's connection. Elsewhere, Jake passes out and Amanda tries to come to terms with what happened. Then they hear a police siren and decide to get away from there as soon as possible. Amanda then hotwires a car and Jake prepares to drive. Tom and Cass follow Cass's connection and start driving, but all of a sudden, they crash into a car and are shocked to recognize their victims as Jake and Amanda. Tom hurriedly leaves his car, takes his shotgun, and approaches Jake. Jake starts begging him not to shoot, but Tom fires a couple of shots in quick succession. Amanda then comes from behind Tom, attacks him, and proceeds to eat him, but gets distracted by Cass, who blows the horn non-stop, trying to cause a distraction. Amanda follows the sound, leaves Tom, and approaches Cass's car. Jake stops her and asks Cass if she is okay, which impresses Cass. Then as Tom gets up and charges toward Amanda and Jake, a couple of women show up in their car, rushing Jake and Amanda to get in their car. Tom and Cass collect themselves and wonder how their targets escaped, while Jake and Amanda find themselves at a stranger's house. Then the owners of the house, Grace and Summer, introduce themselves and explain what's going on. The women explain that Jake and Amanda are zombies like them. They detail that the zombie disease is a viral infection that is transmitted through sexual contact and that no cure has been found yet. The women add that, unless there is a high adrenaline event that causes the zombies to change into their necrotic form, they can live, look, and behave like humans. The women then give Jake and Amanda a place to stay for the night. On the other hand, Cass and Tom get patched up and return to the school to interview some surviving students. There, Cass manipulates their memory process and tricks them into believing that they have just experienced a school shooting instead of a zombie attack. The government uses these manipulated interviews to compile a news report that portrays the incident as just another school shooting instead of a zombie attack, to keep the public from panicking. The reports paint Amanda and Jake as a couple who finally decided to take revenge on the school community that bullied them and made them feel like they were nothing.
The people chasing us weren't trying to catch us. They were trying to kill us.
Then 𝐀𝐿 is called in, and as the interview begins and he's asked about Amanda, he loses his temper and jumps to attack and eat Tom. This shocks everyone as no one knows he is a zombie. but Cass reacts quickly and manipulates Chaz's thought process and stops him. Chaz is captured to be studied. Cass passes out, and when she wakes up, she sees Mr. Alistair, who is sent to lead the NCD, hovering over her and congratulating her on saving Tom from Chaz's attack. Mr. Alistair then gives her one of Jake's books and asks Cass to make a connection and find where they are.
I never liked those. Made me feel like I was eating a rat.
Cass lies and tells Mr. Alistair that she couldn't make a connection, and he tells her to rest up and to try again the next day. The next day, Cass goes to Jake's house to make connections and grows to connect with him and like him more. Back at Grace and Summer's house, Grace and Summer proudly tell Amanda and Jake that they have made a decision that they don't want to live in bloodshed like the rest of the zombies, and that they have settled far away from their kind, trying to survive by feeding on rodents instead of humans. Then the women show Jake and Amanda a pedophile and rapist man who they have captured and saved to eat at a time when their hunger won't be satisfied with just the rodents. The group of zombies gathers around and prepares for a feast.
I'm starving.
Mr. Alistair calls Cass to a warehouse and shows her his experiment called the Pavlov, in which he can train a necrotic to be a loyal servant who will do anything their master orders them to. Mr. Alistair hopes to use these enhanced necrotic to enhance the military of the nation. Then, Mr. Alistair asks Cass to tell him where Jake is, and when she tells him she doesn't know, he brings Jake's younger sister and threatens to feed her to Chaz. Feeling out of options, Cass gives him Jake's location. Back at Grace and Summer's house, Amanda opts to leave to find her brother Kyle, who has a lot of information on zombies in the next state. Jake prefers to stay but can't refuse a road trip with Amanda. Just as Jake tries to work through his dilemma, he hears Cass's voice telling him to run and joins Amanda as she drives away. Cass and Tom are sent to Grace and Summer's house but find only the women inside. Summer is killed as she attempts to escape, while Grace is captured and taken to Mr. Alistair as per his orders. Amanda and Jake drive through the cross-country road, getting to know each other and eating people on their way. Amanda starts to like Jake and gives him little hints. They discuss their high school lives, the kind of people they were, and how they contracted the virus.
We'll decide the name later.
Then they decide to stop for a night, get high on weed, and hang out at the back of their truck. They play games and chit-chat for a bit, and they kiss. However, as they continue to get intimate, Cass gets in Jake's mind and makes him vomit all over Amanda. Amanda is disgusted with what happened, and they continue driving. Then they get the munchies from the weed, but notice that they have run out of rodents, and so they crash into a vehicle behind them and eat the driver after brutally murdering him. Cass and Tom, together with Mr. Alistair and the rest of the NCD, discover the victim, and Cass is disgusted by what she sees. She can no longer excuse Jake's behavior, and after making Tom promise that Jake won't become a zombie slave, she decides to trace Jake and Amanda's movement and stop covering up for her crush anymore.
Promise me he can't become one of Alistair's pets.
Amanda and Jake make it to Kyle's house. There, the paranoid Kyle tells them that he has known about the zombie virus for a while and that the government has been trying to cover it up. He then shows them a video of an old man claiming he found a cure. Jake and Amanda are excited to hear this and decide to go to Iowa, where the old man is, from the next day. Kyle offers to join them to help save his sister. That night, Amanda and Jakey share their dreams and plans for after they are cured and get closer to one another. They connect deeply and promise to see each other officially after everything goes back to normal and get intimate with each other. Unbeknownst to the couple, Cass, Tom, and the NCD are on their tail, using Cass's gift and following them to Kyle's house. Mr. Alistair orders everyone to stand down and sends Chaz into the house to hunt the targets. Chaz breaks the door down, storms in, and starts to attack both Amanda and Jake. However, he is overpowered by the two, and they beat him up. Kyle wakes up in the commotion and tries to help, but he is caught in the crossfire through the window. Jake and Amanda then throw Chaz back out to the officers to cause distraction and run out the back door. Tom realizes this and follows them to the backyard and shoots Amanda, but when he proceeds to shoot Jake, Cass freaks out and begs Tom to spare Jake's life. During this exchange, Amanda gets up and attacks Tom from behind and kills him. Cass becomes hysterical and starts screaming while other officers come and capture Amanda, who tells Jake to run and escape. Jake couldn't believe what was going on and started running to the woods behind the house.
And you don't deserve Jake!
Cass returns to the house where Tom rests and Amanda is imprisoned and starts to fight with Mr. Alistair over his methods. She accuses him of having Tom killed and proceeds to quit the department. Mr. Alistair doesn't allow her to and uses his powers of telepathy to cause her pain.
You don't think I'd ever really let you go?
Kyle, who is still lying on the floor, wakes up and stabs Mr. Alistair, allowing Cass to run out of the house and into the woods. There, she runs into Jake, who is making his way back to the house as he has a change of heart about leaving Amanda behind and hugs him. Jake recognizes her and freaks out, but Cass calms him down, telling him she is also being hunted by the government. Jake runs back to the house and is confused to see that both Amanda and Kyle are gone. Cass explains that the government will wipe Kyle's memory so that he won't remember any of the ordeal, and that Amanda will be experimented on. Jake decides that he will save Amanda, even if it means being captured himself, and asks for Cass's help to locate her. Cass agrees to help him, and the two start driving. During the ride, Jake learns more about Cass's powers and is fascinated. They make it to the NCD's warehouse, and Cass uses her powers to get them past the guard without incident. Inside, they find a makeshift surgical room and go past it to find many zombies, including Grace, locked away in cages.
Grace?
Jake 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐫s Amanda at the end of the room and picks the lock of her cage to free her. Once she's freed, Amanda and Jakey embrace each other and kiss as Cass watches in annoyance. Jake, Amanda, and Cass make their way out of the room but see a group of officers charging towards them. Then the trio frees the imprisoned, angry zombies and unleashes them on the officers. While the zombies and the officers battle it out, Jake, Amanda, and Cass escape. Then just as they exit the building, they run into Mr. Alistair holding Chaz.
Thanks for the tip.
They escape successfully, but as they decide to head to Iowa to find the cure, Cass and Amanda get into a fight as they feel threatened by each other for Jake's attention. Amanda marks her territory with Jake and agrees to travel together. They start driving to Iowa, and after a few miles, Jake runs over a girl that seems to have come out of nowhere. They go to check on her and find that it's Mazzy, the girl that turned Jake into a zombie.
So you slept with her?
Jake looks around confused at what surrounds them. Did this story spook you out? Let us know in the comments below. For more horror movie recaps, subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next one. Fear awaits you.